j'aimerais aborder en particulier maintenant la conception de nouveaux lieux de vie en phase avec la conscience émergente, dont la réalisation est appuyée par la conscience de Gaïa, des maîtres de sagesse et des dévas, car le temps est venu. Regardons cela de plus près. Commençons par une vision, puis considérons les étapes devant nous. J'aimerais ici vous proposer de vous laisser inspirer par une vision offerte par Michael Rhodes. Plusieurs d'entre vous connaissent ses écrits sur les esprits de la nature et ses communications avec Pan, la grande conscience représentant l'ensemble de la nature de notre Terre. Michael a la capacité de projeter sa conscience hors de son corps physique et ainsi d'explorer d'autres plans de vie, en particulier la 5e dimension. De ce point de vue, il a accès à un ensemble fascinant d'informations. La vision que je vous propose a été reçue récemment par Michael sur un futur probable de la Terre.
All this journeying I do, these metaphysical journeys, spirit journeys, basically the overseer of all this is Pan, and the great spirit of nature. And Pan, people try to define and say Pan is this and Pan is that, but it doesn't really work that way. I'm happy to leave Pan as a complete enigma. Let's just say the overriding intelligence behind the whole of nature. If you were to give that a name, I would call it Pan, all-encompassing. When I was looking at these, this probable future, this frame that for many people will be very probable, for many people it will be extremely improbable. But for what I saw were, which rather surprised me, were community cities. Now forget our type of cities. These community cities are just incredibly like an oasis. Interesting, isn't it? Literally an oasis, and each one is like a giant flat-based bubble. And when I say giant, I mean you could put a fairly normal city in one very comfortably. And inside the city, all the buildings are like various shapes of domes, of translucent domes, very much looking like flat-based bubbles also, but with many incredible colours. Very, very colourful, incredibly colourful. There are highways to transport things in these cities, but the highways are not roads as we know. They seem, the best I could say, they look to be made of like a lichen, a grey-green lichen. And it all blends in beautifully. This lichen is all the time continually replacing itself. So as people walk on it, all transport hovers. It's all anti-gravity, so everything is moved by hovering. What I found fascinating in this is there are tens of thousands of homes in there. We're not talking just a little contained something. Obviously the climate is completely controlled in there. But what I found fascinating is we have restaurants, they have restaurants, but their restaurants are open because they've got the overall roof, so they don't need to individually roof them. And every restaurant is built around, I mean, they're incredibly beautiful. They're built around a garden, a food garden from trees, from shrubs. There are water gardens, multi-tiered water gardens with the water flowing. And in these water gardens, there are underwater plants that have incredible fruits on. Fruits and plants I've never seen before. And so people sit around. Now this food can be prepared as it is by the restaurant. Everybody's vegetarian, fruitarian there. Or you can eat it raw. You don't pay for this. Everything is a matter of, everybody gives to the whole, and therefore everybody can receive. It's literally a way of life. And so these food gardens in these cities, there's thousands of them, or hundreds of them maybe I should say, scattered all over the place. They are very much meeting places for people. And the cities have an amazing energy. They're exactly where Earth is happy to have them. And so these city communities, these oases, you find them, some of them are floating on the oceans. Some of them are under the ocean, under the water. Not so many, but there are a few underwater. There are some on the high permanent snow, in the high permanent snowfields on mountains. There's some on the lower mountains, some in forests, some in deserts. There's not thousands and thousands of them, but they're scattered all over the earth for people to use and to stay in as long as you wish and to move on according to how people want to be. You might sort of think, so what's the point of all this? The point is the development of the relationship, each person with themselves. One of the things I talk about in this life, your relationship with yourself is your relationship with life. You treat yourself well, life will treat you well. You treat yourself badly in your thoughts, in your emotions, you'll find a lot of adversity in life. So they're still developing a higher and higher level of consciousness in the way they treat themselves and other people, but particularly in their relationship with the devas and nature spirits. What I also found interesting is that these cities, every now and again, according to the need of the earth, and they're very sensitive to the needs of the earth. We don't even consider the earth as having needs. We only ever think of our needs, but the earth also has its own needs, and they consider this. And so there will be certain times that the city will relocate itself, and it will basically move maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 maximum kilometers in an area. And as it does, the nature spirits and the devas prepare the area. And so behind it revegetates, and in front of it the vegetation draws back. It's astonishing to see this. You look like you're watching something out of Disney World. Like it couldn't be happening, but it is happening and it is real. So there is this great sensitivity. There is also there are many, many types of nature spirits. In these community gardens, there are nature spirits like little white cotton balls, fuzz balls, millions of them that move through the plants. There are ones that move through the earth, a brown colour, such as I'd never seen in our present reality. Everything is moving everything dances to the tune of harmony. Humans, the human heart, the human brain, the whole human being, and everything in nature dances to the tune of harmony. And when you see harmony in action, and when you see a community city, literally a living oasis that is living, even these structures, these bubble-like structures, they're not inert, they're not made from a man-made material. Nothing is really any longer made, or very few things are made. Everything is somehow produced by the earth. And when you see these structures and you realize that everything you're looking at has life, not saying necessarily sentient, but it has life, it has consciousness, it cooperates. And when you see cities and people and all of nature living in a cooperation, and then you realize that today there are people moving with dreams and ideals and visions to move in this direction, then you realize, well, every great dream has to begin somewhere. And people like Mark and many other people are involved in the moving of consciousness in this direction now. And that is the probability. If your consciousness is moving in this direction now, whether you retain this physical body or not, that's where you're going to incarnate into this probable future. And personally, I couldn't think of anywhere better to go. Maybe I'll see you there. Bye.